Good evening to all of you, parents, relatives, and friends of our current members and inductees. It is with great pride that I welcome you to the 18th Annual National Technical Honor Society induction ceremony. My name is Jim Bellucci. I'm a Career Academy principal at the Tech Center. Before we get started, I'd like you to please note the fire exits on the right side, on your right side to the gym. In the case of an emergency, please file out carefully and slowly. Go across the parking lot and wait further instructions. If it is raining, please go into Building A across the street. There'll be security personnel to get you in there. I'd also like to remind you to kindly turn off your cell phones and electronic devices, just like in class, right? And I'd now like to ask you to join me in honoring America and to pay tribute to the men and women who are serving in our armed forces here at home and abroad, and Erica Leonardi will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
It is my pleasure to introduce Miss Mary Simonelli, academic math teacher at the Tech Center, who will lead us in the singing of the beautiful song, America the Beautiful, Please Rise.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to mention a couple things. America the Beautiful has been a part of our culture for about 120 years now. It was written back in 1893 by Catherine Lee Bates and put to music that it was already in existence at the time. I want to dedicate this song tonight to somebody very special in the audience, Mr. Gary Mankus, who is on stage here. And I don't know, most of our students know Mr. Mankus. He's one of our counselors, but I want to recognize that every year he puts his heart and his soul into the National Technical Honor Society, making this organization and this event what it is. So, for Mr. Mankus. Okay. I'm going to sing to you. Okay, and I hope you have patience with me. I'm going to sing to you all 4 verses because we rarely hear the other verses, and they speak a lot to our country's past, present, and future. Okay. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet whose stern impassioned stress a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thine every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Mary, thank you. That was beautiful. Please be seated. Joining us on the stage this evening, representing our Central Office Administration, are Dr. James Langlois, District Superintendent, Dr. Lynn Allen, Assistant Superintendent, representing our Tech Center Administration are Kathy Balistreri, Director of Career and Technical Education, and Steve Lowry, a Career Academy Principal at the Tech Center. I'd also like to thank and welcome on the stage this evening, representing our BOCES School Board, Miss Anita Feldman from the MedPec Central School District. I would also like to welcome any administrators and staff from our component school districts who took the time to join us this evening for this wonderful celebration. Thank you all for joining us this evening. I would be remiss if I did not give recognition to the members of the PNW BOCES staff, without whose tireless work and dedication this Honor Society induction could not be possible. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the teaching and counseling staff at the Tech Center. Please stand. Thank you. Co-hosting this evening's program are current members of our National Technical Honor Society, Alice Varga and Michael Gambro. Good evening, Alice.
Good evening. I'm Alice Varga, senior at Mahopac High School, as well as a student in the New Visions Health Program at the Tech Center. I would first like to welcome you all to the National Technical Honor Society induction ceremony. The Putnam Northern Westchester Tech Center National Technical Honor Society is celebrating its 18th year in existence. The mission of the National Technical Honor Society is to reward excellence in workforce education, build stronger industry partnerships in local communities, and encourage students to develop the skills needed in today's quality-driven workplace. Only those students who demonstrate a spirit of personal excellence, honesty, leadership, teamwork, and responsibility are invited into society membership. In order to qualify for nominations, students must maintain a 90% average or better in their technical programs and maintain an 80% average or higher at their home schools. Students have to go through a rigorous application process, which includes writing an essay, getting 3 recommendations, and being interviewed. Tonight, we will be inducting 83 students who have met this criteria. Now, I would like to introduce Dr. James Langlois, Superintendent of Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES, who would like to say a few words of welcome.
On behalf of the BOCES Board of Education and the BOCES Central Administration, I do want to welcome you all here. And I'm always, it's always a pleasure to gather with people, with parents, with staff, with students to celebrate. It's one of the great things about this time of year. It's one celebration after another. And tonight we are celebrating these young men and women. We're celebrating them for their accomplishments in areas of skill, scholarship, character, leadership, and service. And one of the things that I like to talk about at this particular event is the concept of honor. You are being honored. We are honoring you because of your accomplishments, because of the high level of quality that you have shown in your work and in your lives. And so we are welcoming you into the National Technical Honor Society. But think about the word honor for a little bit. One sort of obvious thing about honor is we are honoring you. From the outside, honor is holding you in high esteem. And we do hold you in high esteem. You've accomplished great things. And in a lot of ways, we're celebrating how much you have won in the struggles that you've gone through as students. You're winners, and we honor you for that accomplishment. There's another side to honor, too, that I think it's very important for you to consider. Looking at the outside, we're holding you in high esteem, but honor is also something, probably more importantly, on the inside. Honor is something that you take on for yourselves. And that honor is not so much winning, not so much being held in high esteem, but it's the courage to do what is right no matter what the cost. And there are many different ways that that can operate in your lives. But one of the things I'd like you to think about tonight, we're celebrating your accomplishments and your winning, but I'd like you to think of honor for a minute as something that can also turn you into a loser, turn you into somebody who doesn't succeed. And let me explain what I mean by that. The best way I can do this is I can share with you a kind of personal hall of fame of losers. And the reason these people are losers is because they acted with courage, they did what they believed was right, and they didn't worry about what the cost was. First one, I'm going to go all the way back to 1948. There was a Republican senator from Ohio named Robert Taft. And he had worked all of his life to become president of the United States and was determined to get there. And then at the end of the Second World War, there was a series of trials, war crimes trials called the Nuremberg trials. I'm sure you've probably heard of them. Some of the worst of the Nazi leaders were tried for the terrible things that they had done during the war. And Robert Taft stood up almost alone in the country, and he said, wait a minute. You're convicting these people of crimes that you decided came into existence after they committed the crimes. I don't believe that you should be condemning these people to death for crimes that you've determined only existed after they committed them. That was a very unpopular position. Why would anybody want to defend Nazis, particularly the ones that had done these terrible things? But his point was, we live in a country of laws, and one of our laws is that you do not convict somebody of a crime when you haven't defined the crime at the time it was committed. Very unpopular. I probably wouldn't have agreed with him at the time if I'd known about it. I was a little young. The second person I'd like to tell you about is somebody that I didn't meet her personally, but I was in the same place at the same time with her. And this was back in 1965, and it was on the march from Selma to Montgomery with Martin Luther King. And the woman I wanted to just tell you about is a woman named Viola Liuzzo. She was a mother of, she had I think 2 or 3 children. And when she started to hear about what was happening in the South around the demonstrations against segregation and the fighting, the suffering that was going on among the black families there, she decided to drive down and see what she could do to help during this march. And she was one of the people that was shuttling people back and forth from one place to another. And on one night in March 1965, she was taking someone back to the place where they were staying, and she was run off the road by a bunch of people that were against the march and shot and killed. And she died there. Another group of honorable people, people who did not worry about the cost because of what they believed in, were the young men and women who were not much older than you. In fact, some of them were probably your age, who demonstrated for their freedom in Tiananmen Square back in 1989 in Beijing. I don't know if you've ever seen it. There's a wonderful picture of a single individual student standing in the middle of the road, and right in front of him is a line of tanks. That line stretches back, and standing there all by himself in front of the tank, he stopped that line of tanks for a little while. It didn't work, and hundreds of those students were killed in Tiananmen Square. And then if you move forward to just a couple of years ago in 2011, another group of mainly young people, a lot of others as well, but young people gathered in Tahrir Square in Cairo, Egypt. And as a result of their work, they actually were able to bring down the oppressive government of Egypt. After that, not very many, there's been a lot of chaos and a lot of trouble in Egypt. And so far, it doesn't look like what they accomplished a whole lot. But they did stand up for what they believed in, and they were prepared to take all of the consequences. So those are a series of people who acted on the honor that they believed in. They stood up for what they believed was right, regardless of the cost. Robert Taft never became president. Viola Liuzzo lost her life, left her children as orphans. The students in Tiananmen Square gave their lives for what they believed in. And the students who demonstrated in Tahrir Square saw their hopes lost in the confusion that followed in Egypt, although it may well eventually play out that what they stood for, they survived. But the consequences didn't matter to them. What mattered to them was their honor, and what mattered to them was their courage to stand up for what is right. Now, life doesn't always present us with such strong black and white kinds of choices. We don't always get to be an uncomplicated good guy facing evil and facing bad guys. But what we sometimes do is we get faced with the kind of situation that's sort of unfolding in Egypt. There's one that I read, there's another group that I read about today, actually a young woman, again, someone about your age. Her name is Natalia Guneyuk. She's a Ukrainian, and she's one of the young people who brought about the changes that are taking place right now in Ukraine. Nobody knows what's going to happen there. Is Russia going to invade? Is the country going to fall apart? Is there going to be corruption that undermines the changes that the young people have brought about? But let me just quote to you something that she said today that was in the newspaper. She said, "We used to be living in a world of feudalism, but now, although my state is too weak to defend me, it's not acting against me. And it's a pleasure to live in a historic moment like this one. I will speak my mind, and I will shape my own future." So that's a young woman in the midst of the chaos of the Ukraine right now who's standing up courageously and who's really got a core of honor that she is respecting. I recommend that to you. Don't be afraid to lose. Don't be afraid to fail. But do stand up for your own sense of honor and for what matters. Do have the courage to do what is right, no matter what the cost. And if you do that, Your membership in the National Honor Society will be a tremendous foundation for the rest of your life. So congratulations on your accomplishment, and I wish you well in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Langlois. Mr. Mankus, advisor to the National Technical Honor Society, will now call upon current Honor Society members for the presentation of their senior shawls.
The Honor Society shawls represent your outstanding scholastic achievement and should be worn at both the Tech Center graduation as well as your homeschool graduation. I'd like to call the first two members of our current Honor Society to receive their shawls. Nick Ambos, Architectural Design and Modeling, Croton Harmon High School. And Rachel Goodrow, Mahopac High School, Childhood Development and Education. Nick and Rachel will now call upon the names of their peers.
Will Olivia Avery of Law Enforcement from Lakeland please come up? Lauren Bonifacio of Cosmetology, Walter Panis. Alexandra Capalbo, Baking and Pastry Arts, Yorktown. Edgar Sabata of Animation and Motion Graphics, Walter Panis. Sarah Corrigan, Child Development and Education, Ossining. Ashley Coy of Law Enforcement, Yorktown. Thomas Staros, Heating, Ventilation, Air Conditioning, North Salem. Mariana Diaz Coelho of Child Development Education, Ossining. Christian Fagnani of Microcomputer Technology, Carmel. Michael Feist of Culinary Arts, Briarcliff. Sterling Thite of Culinary Arts, Peekskill. Michael Gambro, Small Engineering Technology, Walter Panis. And Walter Håkon Gustafsson, Animation Motion Graphics, Walter Panis.
Monet Hagens, Medical Assistant, Henrik Hudson. Joseph Hahn, Animation and Motion Graphics, Peekskill. Erica Leonardi, Law Enforcement, Walter Panis. Matthew Maniscalco, New Visions Engineering, Yorktown. Marielle Martin, Baking and Pastry Arts, Somers. Megan McCarran, Heating, Ventilation, and Air Conditioning, Putnam Valley. Tristan McCracken, TV Production and Digital Film, Mahopac. William Quast, Carpentry, Clearview School. Isaac Silva Franco, New Visions Engineering, John Jay. Alyssa Small, Culinary Arts, and Hendrik Hudson. Brianna Snyder Harper, Child Development and Education, Yorktown. Joseph Michael Stager, Law Enforcement, John Jay. Jacqueline Toymill, Advertising, Art, and Digital Film, Brewster. Natalie Urachima, Computer Graphics, Walter Panis. Alice Varga, New Visions Health, Mayapack.
Okay, just work? Good? All right. Students who are inducted into the National Technical Honor Society have demonstrated excellence in skill, scholarship, character, leadership, and service. Will William Quast please speak about skill?
Got it. This evening, I will explain why technical skills help students obtain future success. National Technical Honor Society students have an advantage over other high school students because they are developing technical skills that will guide them through their college and their careers. Whether it's trimming a house in carpentry, saving a tree in urban forestry, or comforting a child in early childhood education. Tech Center students gain few skills others do. Once Tech Center students learn a new skill, they develop the confidence to progress. They develop the greatest skill of all, the skill to learn. I like the lightest skill.
Will Monet Higgins please come and speak about scholarship?
I would like to speak to you about scholarship. Scholarship is the ability to master an area of learning. While natural aptitude may be important, those who succeed have the drive, commitment, and vision to see where knowledge will take them. Scholars set goals, chart a course, and take all necessary steps to reach that goal. They will continue setting goals throughout their lives. In today's rapidly changing global economy, scholarship is essential. I like the light of scholarship.
Olivia Avery will now speak about character.
Just kidding. Perhaps the greatest measure of a person is his character. Whenever Tech Center teachers speak about their best students, they say, "I can always count on him or her." People of character are reliable, trustworthy, and willing to take charge. As we move on in life, we come to realize that the people we value most in our life embody those characteristics. This old saying may sum it up best. A person of character says the right thing at the right time for the right reason. I like the light of character.
Matthew Maniscalco will now speak to you about leadership.
Leadership involves showing initiative, taking charge, and having the courage and confidence of your convictions. Although a leader is out front, he never holds himself above anyone. Instead, he lets everyone know they are in the battle together. Leaders value their team members and praise their efforts and accomplishments. A true leader works for the betterment of the team without regard to his own perceived status. I light the light of leadership.
Mariana Diaz Coelho will now speak to you about service.
Members of the National Technical Honor Society are involved in numerous community service activities, including Volunteer Ambulance Corps, Volunteer Fire Department, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, Students Against Destructive Decisions, Make a Difference Club, and the Midnight Run. Community can also be your family, your place of work, or your classroom. Listening to family, friends, and coworkers is in need is a valuable service. Providing these services does not add to your paycheck, but it does make you a lot richer. I light the light of service.
Megan McCarran, Tom DeRoss, and Jackie Toymill will now introduce the new senior inductees into the National Technical Honor Society. Seniors will be presented with their senior shawls.
Kevin Andrande, Animation and Motion Graphics, Croton Harmon. Louis Antonelli, Urban Forestry, Somers. Jennifer Blum, New Visions Health, Mayapack. Leona Brito, Culinary Arts, Peekskill. Selena Brujan, New Visions Health, Mayapack. Danielle Berzesi, Advanced Baking and Pastry Arts, Somers. Amanda Carlson, Law Enforcement, Yorktown. Rachel Ann Conklin, New Visions Health, Haldane. Shaziah Crafton, Cosmetology, Ossining. Glenn Cunningham, Urban Forestry, Mayapack. Leah Zubak, Medical Assistant, Carmel. Amanda Gary, Cosmetology, Carmel. Kayla Holder, New Visions Health, Putnam Valley. Ashley Jackson, Certified Nurse Aide, Walter Panis. Claire Johnson, New Visions Health, Somers. Do I keep going? Do I keep going? Okay. All right.
Did you read Thomas? Where did you leave off?
I left off right here.
Alex King, Advertising Art and Digital Design. Somers. Or Henhud, sorry. Haley Kiss, New Visions Environmental, Mayapack. Connie Landy, New Visions Health, Carmel. Ruth Leon, Medical Assistant, Walter Panis. Amanda Montgomery, Cosmetology, Mayapack. Patrick Murphy, Construction Electricity, Carmel. Sam Quinn, Culinary Arts, Yorktown. Melissa Ramirez, Fashion Design and Merchandising, Ossining.
Henry Rodriguez, Construction Electricity, Mayapack. Anthony Rapolo, Construction Electricity, Brewster. Sophie Schiffman, Culinary Arts, Somers. Jackie Swenson, Culinary Arts, Fox Lane. Carlin Tapia, Cosmetology, Ossining. Michaela Turturro, New Visions Health, Croton Harmon. Matthew Rubel, Architectural Design and Modeling, Yorktown. Stephen Youssef, New Visions Health, Carmel. And Anna Zamuda, New Visions Health, Carmel.
Chanel Rahim, Urban Forestry, Peekskill. Taylor Quinones, Medical Assistant, John Jay.
Monet Hagens, Isaac Silver Frankel, and Marielle Martin will now introduce the junior candidates who will receive their certificates.
Tina Buetti, Fashion Design and Merchandising, Brewster. Nicholas Burns, Urban Forestry, Yorktown. Fiona Kahlo, Computer Graphics, Croton Harmon. Juliana Cortina, Fashion Design and Merchandising, Brewster. Maria Cristofero, Culinary Arts, Lakeland. Austin Croto, Law Enforcement, Croton Harmon. Daniel Delgado, Law Enforcement, Putnam Valley. Devin Divinieri, Child Development and Education, Putnam Valley. Veronica Thaley, Law Enforcement, Carmel.
Amanda Ferrara, Child Development and Education, John Jay. Giuseppina Figliuzzi, Law Enforcement, Fox Lane. Darlene Franklin, Medical Assistant, Carmel. Brianna Fuhrer, Computer Graphics, Mayapack. Aaliyah Galvez, Culinary Arts, Brewster. Jacqueline Galvez, Cosmetology, Carmel. Natalie Gonzalez, Medical Assistant, Fox Lane. Andrew Grimes, Culinary Arts, Carmel.
Jessica Grossman, Fashion Design and Merchandising, Lakeland. Frank Kegel, TV Production and Digital Film, Lakeland. Stephen Herbert, Masonry, Somers. Jacob Herman, Carpentry, Briarcliff. Joe Jadnesty, Plumbing Pipe Fitting, Carmel. Jeffrey Jimenez, Architectural Design and Modeling, Lakeland. Trevor Jones, TV Production and Digital Film, Briarcliff. Elizabeth Keurig, Carpentry, Somers. Katie Lawrence, TV Production and Digital Film, Mayapack. Jade LaGuercio, Construction Electricity, Brewster. Mackenzie Lubin, Architectural Design and Modeling, Briarcliff. Colleen McCarthy, TV Production and Digital Film, Yorktown. Catherine McGuire, Medical Assistant, Mayapack. Nikita Morrison, Urban Forestry, Carmel. Brianna Miranelli, Cosmetology, Ossining. John Nestro, Urban Forestry, Horace Greeley. Elena Nikashir, Child Development and Education, Mayapack. Liam O'Leary, Construction Electricity, Putnam Valley.
Gianna Pesci, Child Development and Education, Mayapack. Kelly Lynn Peterson, Cosmetology, Brewster. Evan Provan, Architectural Design and Modeling, Haldane. Sergio Ratana, TV Production and Digital Film, Brewster. Vanessa Rodriguez, Cosmetology, Brewster. John Rojas, Law Enforcement, Brewster. Zachary Sandground, Culinary Arts, Lakeland. Tara Severance, Computer Graphics, Carmel. Sam Shunk, Urban Forestry, Ardsley. Elvia Sinchi, Cosmetology, Hendrik Hudson. Samantha Stratz, Law Enforcement, Lakeland. Leslie Teta, Medical Assistant, Brewster. Veronica Toon, TV Production and Digital Film, Putnam Valley. Amanda Vega, Cosmetology, Mahopac. Laura Elizabeth Walther, Fashion Design and Merchandising, Hendrik Hudson. Reba Welch, Culinary Arts, Brewster. Nina Williams, Fashion Design and Merchandising, Lakeland. Taylor Wood, Computer Graphics, Walter Panis. Lana Zychek, Advertising Art, Digital Design, Walter Panis.
Okie dokie.
And Vanessa Rodriguez, Cosmetology, Brewster.
You guys are good? All right. Ashley Coy will now swear in the new inductees.
Will the inductees please rise and repeat after me? As a member of the National Technical Honor Society, I pledge to maintain the highest standard of personal conduct. I will apply myself to continue a record of scholastic achievement. And I will strive for excellence in all aspects of my education. I will invest my talents, my skills, and my knowledge in a career of my own choosing. And shall always endeavor to uphold my obligations as a citizen of my community and my country. Please be seated.
This has been a very important evening for each and every one of us. On behalf of all of those who have been honored, I would like to thank the homeschool administrators, teachers, guidance counselors, and school board members who have come to share this special occasion with us tonight. I would also like to thank all of the tech instructors, you who have been the hands guiding us to our destinies. We can't thank you enough for believing in us and helping us succeed. We would also like to thank Liz Marks for the microphone and music, to Pat Gilman for the balloons and decorations, and also Darwin Dela Cruz for his custodial staff and all of his help. Finally, we, the honorees, would love to show our appreciation to the families and friends who are here with us tonight. It is very special to have people to share in our pride. All Honor Society members, please stand and honor your family and friends. Thank you.